Hey guys, Legos JPS here. So here we are looking at the perfect grade O riser. Depends on when this is uploaded. This may be up before or after, depending on when my me building this thing on Twitch gets uploaded. So this is the O riser, and basically with the perfect grade, depends on the perfect grade. You got X amount of plates to build certain sections. And they usually tell you you're going to use all these plates here. And basically, because double O riser is two sections, think of it like the high grade, how you had the double O Gundam and then another one for the O riser, and then they did a combined one as the double O riser. Then the master grade had the double O riser, and similar to what the master grade did, where it was like they had about I want to say 5 to 6 plates reserved to be in the O Riser and the GN Sword 3. Basically, box B is basically all the O Riser and the GN Sword 3 and the extra stuff. If you probably notice a lot of black popping up, he is panel lined with this panel line accent color for just in black. I did use a bit of Tamiya cement on a few sections here there just to, hold them together. But this is the O riser, and basically its build is the whole middle section. Then you got your side binders, and then you got your GN Sword 3, and then you got the extras, which is like the missile pods and other stuff like this, a few of these, and some the make you call GN condensers. And you can store all that stuff on him. I just didn't do it on one of my screenshots, but yeah, well, screenshot for a friend, but you can store all that stuff up there. You could just store one of them on the inside of the side binders. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at this and section by section, shall we? So, like I said, we're gonna take a look at this section by section. So I'm gonna go ahead and take off the side binders, and just like how the master grade is, they could just pop in and off. I want to say this is done similar to the master grade. I think the master grade might have been done a bit better. I don't remember because it's been so long since actually been. I think it's been like a year or two, maybe three, since I built the Master Grade Double O Riser or the XN Riser, because the XN Riser also has the O Riser as well. So first things first, I want to go ahead and close up the landing gears, and these actually the front one is easier to get out because it just slides in, and it's this blue part here that actually keeps it from pushing in any further. These back here are more of the hassle than I want to admit, because you kind of want to push forward then close them in. And I'm going to do like that because I want them to easier have them come out easier, so I'm going to do that because otherwise I don't trust them and they're going to be stuck in there. So this is just the base body of the O riser. You'll think, oh yeah, it looks just similar to everything else. You can see a lot of the panel line in here and there. Some of it is darker or thicker in some areas than others. There is two moving sections here. This part here, which I'm not sure what that is for, but that opens up. You would think that's like a pilot seat or something else goes there, but I don't know. But the pilot seat is actually right here, and you have your Saji Crossroads sitting right inside. And that's like the only two, well, opening parts on here. And you can transform this just like how it does in the show. Simply put, well, before I do that, there is a little gimmick here, like a little opening gimmick. If you, actually I should grip here. I would say grip here, but because this is really thin and it's like two pieces and I don't want to break it, grip here at the white part and pull. When you do that, it opens up this whole section. These white parts pull out, this part opens out, and it slides down. So as you can see, it is somewhat stiff and it's kind of hard for me to grip it too. But yeah, that's the only like real gimmicky part here. To transform this like it would be if you was going to make this for the double O riser, it's like there's three sections that actually move. This is the middle section. This is another section, and the front part is another. So the idea is to pull back. For this one, you want to pull backwards on it and tilt it so it actually slides down. Don't worry, you will know you're doing right because the white part here kind of stays along here. It will kind of still line up just like it is there. So, oh, and I just end up pushing those back in there. Oh well, I didn't want to, but they're going to be down there. I'll have to spread them out later. And then this just tilts down. And it's on a hinge, so it tilts all the way down. And there is your peg to plug it right in. And still, it looks pretty nice too. Now I'm just waiting for the day they make the perfect XN riser or the XN parts, because I wouldn't mind attaching that to here, but I don't know. Because without the stand, because yeah, mine does not come with the stand, but I do have three of them. I can swap one from my Perfect Grade Strike Freedom, or I could snatch one from one of my two Excess Gundams, and just use that for this guy. But I don't think I have the action-based connector for it. But let's turn this back and set him aside. And like I say, you just push everything back up and push it inwards. And sadly, though, trying to fight these out is the hard part without, pushing up on it. But I'm not going to do that on stream because it was already a pain to get them out the first time. So I'm going to set that back there. Your binders. They look just like, similar standard binders of on any, double O kit. Or any double O riser. Because they all do look the same. At least on the outside, but the inside is what matters. I still kind of prefer the master grades because for this part, this part was like kind of hinged, so when you open it out, the LED inside that you put in from this side actually shows through, and you can see the green kind of like up here and like down here at the bottom. So it gave you that effect of like GM particles flying out. I don't think that works with this one because this just pops out. Even though there is a clear part in here, it doesn't give you that effect. Plus these parts, this part down here does come out a little bit. Because I remember, if I'm not mistaken, this was also a cannon used in the show. I'm pretty sure it was a cannon used, especially in the last episode. Your little side parts here does move out. And these are hinged. So they're hinged to go inwards. Can't go outwards though. There is a clear... Actually, now that I think about it, I don't think there is a clear part in here. The clear part is actually down here. The clear part is actually sitting right there. That I remember. You also got the parts. This part up here that moves. Felt a little stiff, like it didn't want to move. And you have your connector here for if you want to attach this onto the O riser. But if you're attaching this onto double O, swing this out. And there's your two connector ports right there. But what you're supposed to do is turn it up like so to right here and swing them out and then turn it outwards to swing them out even more. So you have something like this. It's just like I said, I don't have the double O built right now, so I just can't be like, or the GN drivers or the backpack build, so I can just like attach this on to show you. But this is basically what you would have. So you can kind of see what the difference is, what it looks like between the two, how they are stored. To be honest though, this is a kind of a nicer gimmick to how they did this though, because they made it so you just rotating a part around and just putting this up there. Whereas the master grade, you actually had to take this part off to remove the clip to attach it onwards and then, plug it on. I mean, it was nice that you stored it inside though, but you still had to take that off to put that up here. I don't know about the high grade though because I never had the high grade. So I really wouldn't know or be able to tell you about how that high grade would work. Now, I will say this, my only concern is because it's just pegged in that, one wrong turn or something might just make it break. That's my only concern, or, as we say, gravity will take hold one day and, make it break or something. That's my only concern, but outside of that, I don't have no real major issues, concerns. Don't mind that pop you just heard. That was me pushing this part back in because technically it's not supposed to show. It's supposed to be hitting. And when you pull down on it, when you pull down on this, the top part is supposed to, lift up so you can actually have your little effect going on. And when you do that, let's do this. The blue parts here are actually kind of recessed down, whereas while this is pushed up. It's a nice little gimmick because they're on a little track together that makes them work in tangent. But yeah, that's pretty much the side binders and the O-riser itself. Let's take a look at the other stuff. So now that, we got this, I'm going to move this back. Also, don't force trying to push the side binders back on. Because I did that mistake once and I almost lost this little white part cover here. So let's look at the other stuff that comes with the that makes up the O-riser. And the first thing is the GN Sword 3. And that's a big boy too. There's nice color separations in there. Like the blue in the back, and then you have your gray all around. The green blade and the white parts in the middle. I did super glue these white parts on here, or use the cement glue. I also super glued a few more parts here and there. I think the handle and I think a few other parts here and there inwards. There is a few sections here that does move out. You have your landing gear part here. Weird because you actually have a landing gear on the GN Sword 3. I don't think this was done in the master grade nor the high grade. Like I said, I don't know much about the high grade because I never had it, but I think the master grade did not have this thing. Or maybe it did, but it was like a little piece that kind of you attached on to make it like a landing gear. But I do remember that they did have a action-based connector for the GN Sword 3 when you attach it to the O-riser. But yeah, you have the little landing gear because that's like the only part there. And kind of sadly though, even though when I try to make it look flush, it kind of hangs down just a little bit because you can kind of see that little gap in there. Which I just can't seem to fix or make it look flush. Like it's like, hey, this is not something here. The part back here moves pretty far. That's standard fare because you have to be able to move it upwards to get it over the arm. There is a little peg connector back here to attach it into the arm as well. And the blade does move all the way around for storage or rifle mode. And that amount of detail, hold on, I want to try to get show this detail. raise up the camera. There is a nice detail in there, like how some of the beam parts are molded in the holes on the side. And if I move my finger, I think I want to say the beam part where it would shoot beams at. I forget where it was because it's been so long. Is either, I want to say it's either the top here or down here. Yeah, because it could be down there or up top. I forgot because it's been so long since I even watched Gundam 00. And I really should go back and watch it just to figure that out. But yeah, you have nice detailing all around. And there is one more moving part here on the 00, and that is this part up here. And no, it's not a sight or anything. Let me switch this back to sword mode. That is an actually attachment for this. This little three-piece connection thing here is basically what you slide in here. You slide that in as far back as it'll go, and it should go back. It should go back far enough so this part here lines up with that clip there. So if you push it back far enough, it should clip in just like that. And this is to allow you to connect it to the to your O riser. There's 3 points of connection. So if you notice, there's like, you get your clip here, and then there's like 2 back here. That goes to this hole here, then these 2 holes back here. And there you go. It's up there. I really don't trust it because it is not the stablest. Because you're relying on that little small landing gear, and then you're relying on most of the arm guard back here, the blue part, to actually act as a stabilizing base. See what I mean? And you're only getting, and because of how this part looks so hollow back down here, you're only relying on this part here, the more thicker parts, to actually act as the surface detail, the surface area touching. So this does not get a lot of surface area touching for balancing, but it can be doable, and it looks nice. But that's not the worst I gotta worry about. So we got missile pods. The Master Grade or High Grade does not come with these. This is a perfect grade only thing. But we got missile pods, and these attach to the binders. And this is the terrifying part I'm scared of doing. So there's a little slot here and up here that you're going to use for these. There's also a slot there, but I don't remember if it's... Oh, it's the slot there, that's right. It's the slot in the middle, the blue part that you use for these. Because you got the slot here, which is for the missiles or condensers. The big one on the blue part for the missile launcher rack, and then the other one for the smaller missiles. So now he's armed up with some, a missile rack launcher, which is something I think that would have been what Arios or Kyrios had. Next up, we're going to attach these, but you don't get 2 of them. Oh, no, 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 no. We get 4. And like I said, they attach onto the white part. And you can do this on the inside and outside. And like the manual only tells you to put them on the outside, so you're going to use like a combination of the missile rack, a condenser, or whatever. So you're not going to use all the spots. But hey, it's your perfect grade. You can do whatever. So that's pretty much what you have. So what we have so far. We're not even done just yet. Next up, you have these like GN condensers. There is some stickers up here. These little white ones that goes around the outside part here. Kind of finicky to get those on too. This is going to be the real hard part, I'm telling you right now. Technically, I should just go ahead and do this. And just attach them on. I'm going to regret my decision later, but it's whatever. I probably will, and most likely will regret my decision later for doing this, but you know, at the time of the moment, who cares? So that's the condensers, and then we have one last part, which is these little missile, like these little rockets. And we're going to attach these onto the outside. Like so. So this is pretty much a fully armed up side binder. Like I said, you could probably move one of these down here and move the other one upwards. But you know, it's whatever. As long as they're all up there, that's the only thing that matters, really. Let's go ahead and slide this other one on. Now the real fun part. Trying to get this all back up here. I got one. Well, had one. And the problem is, it's trying to connect the side binders back on. Because these connecting ports doesn't feel like, they just don't feel, you know, up to par. At least in my opinion. Oh great, and a piece popped off from one of the these missiles. Yeah, I should have super glued these, but at the time when I was recording, I did not super glue them nor think about it, and I was like, I won't need to. Regretting my decision on that right now. Okay, let's see if I can go ahead and get this up here and hope that it will hold. Sadly, this side binder here, this one is the one I had the issues with the most. Even more so trying to... Yeah, I figured it probably won't want to work. At least not with the GN Sword 3 attached, maybe. I don't know. And then, because how how it's pegged in there, it's not really like super pegged in tight. It's kind of like yeah. Yeah, see, these things aren't really the sturdiest or the strongest connecting ones. I will give the Master Grade that credit that it actually felt more solid when these things was connected to the O riser. But that's pretty much it. That's it with all the weapons. I'm not even gonna put it on the sword because the weight issues is just not even gonna work, and I'm afraid to lift this thing up anyways because I already know that yeah, this thing is not up there right or in there all the ways. And I really don't want to fight it to put it up there. But there you go. You're going to be fully armed up with missiles, rocket launchers, GN condensers. It's armed to the teeth. But there is one more thing I forgot to mention with the GN Sword 3. And that's this big boy. How about you slide back from? You get this. Trying to put that thing in a shot is weird. That thing is about the size of this little working board. That is the effect part for your GN Sword 3, which you just slide on. And there is holes. These connect these holes down at the bottom, the top, or the rectangular peg or rectangular holes on each side that you connect these to. You just slide this in and try to squeeze it all around in there. Oh, there you go, like so. The blade part stops like the Genius Source 3 blade part stops about right here, even though the blade is here, so that's how much extra space I have inside of here. From where the tip of the blade stops to where then this effect part ends. That's not bad for as much space as you get. And it does make this thing fairly even taller. And I'm scrolling back as much as I can to try to keep this all in shot. There. That's the entire shot. From it being on the ground to that thing all the way to the top. That's huge. If you want a size comparison, here it is next to my monitor. And it goes past the monitor. I'm sorry that the blinds is open, but yeah. It goes that high up. So yeah, the GN Sword 3's effect part is not to joke around. So I can and luckily it slides on and off. Well, part of the super glue is holding, but it's not. I would say I recommend using the cement glue to glue the sides together to keep it more secured. But luckily the inside is trimmed out to follow the contours of the blade all the way down to the end. So yeah, I like this. And this is pretty much everything that is the O riser. So I don't know when I'm gonna have the double O up and when we're gonna show the O riser off or double O riser. So I'm actually kind of tied up with other stuff. I gotta build the double O itself, and then I gotta do Raid and Final Fantasy. So yeah, if and when I get it up, I will get it up, and I'll try to get it up to you guys as fast as possible. So until then, peace. So one last thing, since I didn't want to think about trying this, and I did, but yeah. So everything for the O riser is up there, even the effect parts. So yeah, it does work out of the most weirdest thing I ever seen trying, but yeah. And this will be the cover image for the video as well. So yeah, that landing gear does work, even though you really can't. It's kind of hard to see, but it is working. Maybe it's just this board that doesn't work with it well, but yeah, having everything up there is possible.